discussed the public hearing that we watched last night, and as most of you know, or all of us know, we did not have anyone come forward to actually speak one way or other about the budget. So, at this time, we'd like to review any budget request or anything you'd like to look at, anybody from the committee or our director.
I have nothing. I have nothing to bring forward.
And Commissioner Stevens.
I do. One of the things we talked about at steering committee was the possibility of having a commissioner serve as the chair of the commission and the pay structure for that person. So we might have to look at increasing the amount in our commission pay line item to cover that.
Did y'all come up with a how much?
So the person's going to be on 2 standing committees,
Which is what they normally get paid.
which is their normal
Okay,
pay.
that's
And then
normal.
they'll be a member of all the other standing committees too, as a non-voting member, and if the person attends, they get paid the stipend. So if they go to all the meetings, it could be,
So there's 7 standing committees, of which they've got to already serve on 2.
correct.
And depending on some of them, they already serve on 3, but let's just say 2. So I just need to make sure that there's 5 or 13 times.
And I think for the past year or two, we've had more in that line item than we normally do because of the solid waste committee, and I don't know how much longer.
I don't think we added any extra for solid waste. It's just that we typically add some as a buffer and then watch it. Because some committees decide not to meet, and so that's how we end up not having to amend. But this one, if y'all are gonna do that, we probably need to go ahead and add that to it.
Let me kick this idea out there. Nothing against Mr. Sandlin, you've done a great job. But the new mayor, since he's not gonna attend to all the meetings, if this happens, if he doesn't chair, he'll have free time, and our vice mayor or assistant to the mayor's position may not be as needed full-time, since the mayor has time to do some of the other work that maybe the assistant is doing. You might want to look at cutting the assistant back to part-time, or the new mayor may not want an assistant. You may want to wait till we get in that position to do the change, or to appropriate the money either.
Do you want us, are you saying just wait and amend it in September whenever y'all decide
We could.
what really is gonna happen?
We could.
We could do that.
Well, either way, I think we need to have enough in the line item to cover it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, okay.
Find out what's going to
The
happen.
deputy
and
to
in
the mayor
September,
stays
do an
though, we're
amendment
short.
Basically, what Commissioner Piercy's suggesting though is we could use the money that the deputy mayor would be drawing to pay for that
To pay
position.
the person that has to go to all the
If I
meetings.
understand you right, so.
If the deputy mayor stays on in his current role, if the new mayor selects to use the mayor and his deputy to the mayor in the current role,
It'd be just like. it
we
is
won't
now.
have any funds to do what
do
Robert
it.
suggested.
Right.
Correct.
So do we still need to add a,
Well, if the person chair goes to all the meetings, that's $27,000 a year. Where
Plus benefits.
plus benefits.
Yeah.
They get benefits.
They would
Yeah.
just be getting the per diem.
So, no, y'all get FICA and Medicare that we pay both parts.
Right.
I mean, we pay one part, y'all pay one part. So it's that times 1.765. That's what you need to add to the budget.
There went that.
Well, bring it.
No, you're not. No, that's almost $50,000.
1.0765.
Well, now you changed it.
Yeah, I did. But you're supposed to know the zero was there.
In the decimal.
Times what?
One.
0.0765.
0.0765.
0.0.
But 1.0765.
I think Mark's got it up
Times
here,
27.
guys.
You said 5 times 13, right? Times 250.
5 times 13 times 250.
Is that $16,250?
How'd you get 27?
He
Yeah,
said
that-
all the meetings.
That's what I came up
That's
with.
if he goes to all the meetings.
But he's already,
On 2 of them.
Well,
On
well,
two
you
of
can
them.
minus that out.
that's what I was saying.
That's what we're doing.
5
Yeah.
or 5 times.
Commissioner Johnson.
I came up with 15,000. Is that what you came up with, Mark? Additional? Because there'll be 5 additional meetings, it's $12,500 for 10 months, and then the rest of it be $15,000 additional, correct?
I think you were going to 13.
I was going with
13 months.
13,
Just to-
Well,
because
I mean,
typically we add a 13th one in.
I mean, it's not gonna break the bank.
Not to interrupt.
It's like
what y'all just said, and according to
$17,500.
what Lisa's saying, it would be 28,681.
No, he was saying 27.5. I don't know how you got the 27.
Well,
You-
okay,
you
if-
doing all
if-
of it.
if he went to every meeting,
Right,
that's what it would be. Now, you can minus out what he would normally make
right.
on a commission and, say, 2 committees, which will bring that
That's
down,
what we're
obviously,
doing.
quite a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, 5 meetings times 13 months times $250 is $16,250.
Yes.
So we need to move that into
Times
the budget as a minimum, just as a stopgap in case, this is an in case, that would be up to the new mayor to make that decision if they want it to be chairman or not.
$17,500.
And I think we probably ought to decide what the salary is going to be for that, if we're gonna do this, because if the new mayor's telling people it's paying what it is now, and we decide it's not on September 1st, that could be a problem, so I would recommend if we want to adjust the
Reduce.
pay, we go ahead and set that now, so that they know what it's gonna be starting September 1 when that comes up.
And I can't disagree with that, I mean, but
I mean, you should say decrease what?
If we're gonna pay for this using Commissioner Piercy's idea by reducing the salary of the deputy to the mayor, we probably ought to go ahead and figure out what that's going to be when we adopt the budget, so that everybody knows ahead of time what the pay is, instead of a surprise coming on September 1st for,
Well, I don't see us cutting, I mean, unless everybody else wants to, the deputy to the mayor position.
not the position, if you're gonna reduce the salary a little bit,
He's saying offset the pay.
like reduce it a few steps.
Like Steve's been here and he's gotten step increases. We're saying drop it back down to kind of pre-step increases.
He's not got a
Okay.
step increase, well,
Percentage of
it's a percentage of the mayor's salary, so how we've always done his. So if
That's,
you're gonna change
my principle
that,
is he started at one amount, he's at a higher amount. Robert's point is let's drop it back down to the original lower amount or somewhere in that, like that. And then that would make your difference for this new money we've decided we want to budget.
Well, wouldn't he come in at the,
Percentage of the mayor's salary?
minimum?
that's what we budgeted. That's how we budgeted it.
Well, what if
for next year.
somebody made a motion to increase the county commission budget by 15,000?
Yeah, it's just coming out of unassigned, right?
Yeah,
What's the percentage of the mayor's salary now for the deputy?
66.
Is that what Jeff got?
I mean, from the very
The
beginning,
inception of the position?
it's been 66% of the mayor's salary, and it has traveled along with it.
So it's about 110 now, give or take.
Yeah, I think that's,
109,637 or something like that.
Why don't you just take what it's going, the difference, take it away from that.
If we
Instead-
change it to like 60% to 66%, that would save about $10,000.
Why are we, I'm sorry, what?
well, that was just an idea that was thrown out. We're just discussing it if we want to
We're
do
trying to figure out
that
how
or
to pay for the new spending.
He's just trying to find the money
Okay,
without coming out
But
of
the money,
unassigned.
okay, the money that you're seeking is for a
Potential.
commissioner participating in all the meetings, therefore the stipend for the meetings goes up.
Correct.
That was your initial conversation.
That's what's
And-
coming to the commission floor from steering committee tomorrow night.
And now we're talking about changing the deputy to the mayor's
How are we gonna pay for
salary.
the new spending?
For that, okay, got it.
But
what
And
if
you-
the mayor
you're-
wants to
you're-
be the chairman?
You wish
Then
for
you
this
spend it.
committee
Then you don't
to
spend that
find
money.
it from the
Okay.
current deputy
Okay,
mayor's
but then
salary.
It was a
Already
suggestion.
used the deputy mayor's money.
And now we're pursuing it. Do you wish to pursue it?
It's up to you.
Mark's got a
If this,
question.
then that.
No, I'm just trying, I got 2 conversations going on, I can't hear the
Yeah.
discussion over here. That
Go-
I'm responsible
go ahead,
for taking the
Mr.
minutes for.
No, I was done. I said it was up to the committee. It was just a suggestion.
Well, it's,
What's the amount we're looking, that we would wish to, somewhere between 17 plus the burden of 1.07
$70,500 with benefits.
includes with benefits? So we're looking for
17.5.
17, Whether it's from
17,000.
unassigned or we find it from we cut somebody's salary or something. That's kind of where it's at.
Lisa,
Thank you.
Mark,
I'm just gonna say, you're going into fund balance, 21,127,000. I don't believe this
17.5
extra
is
is
gonna
going
hurt
to
it.
move the needle.
do you remember how much was left over from the county commission line item?
That we had.
I mean,
Would we
did we
use
have,
to-
in other words, how much did we not use last year?
Do we? That's just gonna be this year's. I'd have to
Yeah,
get,
we don't
well, I
have
mean,
a
that's
budget
the
on
current
that
year.
one. Yeah.
Can you talk about something else? Let me go. get
No,
the
no, no,
budget.
no, you don't have, no, no.
Okay.
It's-
No, I
it's
don't,
not
I do not
important.
remember.
I'm just gonna make a motion that we increase the commission line item by $20,000 to take it from any fund balance.
I mean, we're
It's
just gonna
be in
add,
the budget.
you're
We're
just gonna
it
add to the budget. 20,000 total, including the fringe. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Or
I'm hoping
20
the
plus the
20,000
fringe?
is including the fringe.
Okay,
If
so
we talk
20,
about 17.
I'll backdoor into it, so yes, I can do that.
I second that motion.
Yeah, 16,250 is the salary plus the fringe would be 17,500.
Okay.
So 20 should very easily cover it. So we have a motion and a second
second.
to add 20,000 to the county commission line item budget.
And
using
Lisa's
that.
gonna backdoor it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about that part. Am I seconding
She
that?
said it.
that just means get it in the right line.
Yes.
Okay. Not gonna do
From
something
unassigned
bad.
funds.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the motion that we've got here? Everybody understand this? Hearing no more discussion, call roll please.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd,
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yeah.
Commissioner Pearson,
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens,
Yes.
Commissioner Pete.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Is there anything else we want to review?
I would like to look at that salary again, maybe at our next meeting when we officially adopt our budget. That'll give time for everybody to look at what the salary is and come up with an idea of if we want to adjust that somehow.
Okay. We
The
can-
deputy to the mayor, so,
Yes.
okay.
And in preparation for that, when we conceived the position, or the former commission conceived the position, I don't even know that it was filled when it was initially conceived, or maybe we made
No,
is that the right
it
word?
was not.
Ernest Burgess filled the position at some point with Jeff Davis.
Right, well, we did the position, we budgeted 66% of the salary, and then,
It went
Went
unfilled,
forth.
went unfilled. 'Cause I don't, so in preparation for that, we're wanting to change something we established 8 years ago,
no,
12 years ago, 16.
12, 13, 14, 15,
Davis had
yeah, he had 8, okay.
and then I voted for.
Yeah, so he would have had at least one, okay.
So we're just re-looking at that position.
And
as
really,
we- as
really,
we
we need to look at
transition.
changing the title of it too, because people out in the public think this person is the vice mayor. But Joe Gurley, I remember him saying we needed to change it to chief of staff, and everybody voted him down. And that was probably not wise on our part. But everybody thinks this person has some kind of a constitutional role as the vice mayor, and it doesn't. So I think that would help clarify that too. If we're gonna change the pay, maybe we should look at changing the title of it as well.
I would think executive assistant myself,
Would steering
That's
make
the
that change?
but, you know, we can bounce that off. The 22nd is the next date that we'll meet after tonight for our final meeting on, I think it's the 27th, isn't it? But we can certainly discuss that on the 22nd, so we can add that to our,
So,
Well, I think the steering probably needs to
that's what I was getting
come
at.
out. Do y'all meet again
Not until
before
August.
Yes,
August?
I don't think they do.
Well, that'll be plenty.
But y'all meet in August. We can keep the budget, y'all could, keep the budget as is, and then y'all make whatever changes prior to September 1.
I mean, and it's just a suggestion, but, you know, when we created that position, we didn't really know what it was gonna do. You know, we just knew that Ernest needed help. It's too big of a county, too big of a job. So with Steve still being here, between he and the mayor, they may have some input on, let's relook at the whole job description and see what fits, what makes sense. Maybe have Lisa, different department heads, I don't know, look at it, and just kind of collaborate and say, what is it we really need? And then just address it all at once. And then maybe the title will kind of grow it out of itself once you figure out exactly what it is you need that job to do. Because that whole conversation was born out of Ernest asking for in-house legal. But when he started talking about all the things that job was going to do, had nothing to do with legal.
But did have a component of legal. Could
Right.
have.
I think he was just trying to get help, and that's how he saw a way to get help.
Right.
So
Right.
he didn't ask for the position.
No.
It came organically. We created it. So we created it with an idea and theory of what it would do. But now with all these years under our belt, maybe it's time to tighten it up a little bit.
Well, everything you said is correct. I think if you ask Mayor Ketron or Mayor Burgess to go back to them, I think it'd be like cutting a right arm off. As far as the workload goes, my personal opinion. Bill, would you like to address the committee?
I'll be happy to participate when you all get down to it, trying to determine what the job description would be. The county as large as what this is needs a chief of staff. I don't care what you call it, but a chief of staff. There's no way that office of 3 people, even before Ernest got there were 4. I think even Ben Mankin had 3. He had Carolyn and Vicki and Sherman.
And HR was handled in the mayor's office. I mean,
Yes.
it was, I would say Nancy Allen needed somebody in there.
Yes. Be happy to help craft that in whatever direction you go, but some form is needed. Unfortunately, Ernest told me that he really didn't, you all gave him Jeff.
Oh, he picked him.
Huh?
He picked him.
Well, I know, but you
Gave
gave
the
it to
position.
him. He picked
Oh,
it.
I thought-
You gave it to him. He really didn't utilize Jeff, and Jeff will tell you the same thing. Jeff was over there where Dominic was, and the girl said that they might see him 2 or 3 times a month, if that. So he was stuck over there, and Ernest would give him some projects to do, but it wasn't on a day-to-day basis of the things that this position handles. I can't handle all the dog bites and the Steve contacting the sheriff's department and doing additional legwork. There'll be times I'll have 12 phone messages I've got to return and start feeding them off to him as well in one day.
Now, I will say, in a component of it was, I felt like a chief of staff role, what Jeff Davidson did, because remember saying we would have, what do you call it, staff call or something call? I found my sheets that we had to complete at least once a month. Was it once a month? That we met with him, in this whole room to say, this is what we've got, this is what's coming, so it was
It's moving
So-
faster.
well, I know, but it was a way so that Jeff and the mayor knew what was happening in all our departments, and we heard what other departments were doing too. It was like a once a month thing, so.
Status
it was-
meeting.
It was kind of like a staff meeting, because it's a little bit, so Jeff did that, but Mayor Ketron meets with his staff. The difference is everybody in the room heard, but sometimes the stuff, you couldn't share with everybody.
Right.
But so it was a way for all the departments to come together and say, this is what's going on in my department. So we all had an awareness of what
Yeah,
everybody
but-
else was doing.
But it was Jeff that did it.
Jeff
The
that
mayor
did it.
wasn't here.
Right, correct.
I guess
And
I'm just
Jeff
saying
would,
they did it
like the mayor,
different-
but the
differently.
mayor has people come into his office, which helps him stay up to date too.
Well, I'm thinking about even if you just want to go on vacation, who does the department head call if the mayor's on vacation? I mean, you need somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's the position you need,
Steve.
right? So. And part of the idea on that too was I remember it always felt like, in talking to Vicki, and she would never say it this way, but it was true. She basically had to teach the new mayor their job
Yes.
because she was the only piece of continuity
Stability.
that there
Yeah,
was, right?
Continuity, yes.
So that's kind of what, in my mind, when we created that position, that's kind of what it was for, was to help orient and transition that new everything, that business.
Out of the candidates that are running, none of them have any county commission
Right.
experience. None have been even president of their own Rotary Club or anything. It's going to be a real training.
Well, I'm planning on mayor, you know, whatever they need.
Yeah.
So,
Loyal to the office, that's right.
Well, I want to point out to the public that's listening, this is not something we basically initiated as far as doing away with the deputy to the mayor or anything like that. It has to do with conversations that we have been led to believe that some of the candidates might not want to be chairman of the commission. And if that's the case, one of the commissioners will have to step up. And that's why we were looking at compensation. And two, if someone's not being chairman, that's a lot less duties that they would actually be doing. And, you know, part of the suggestion was, well, we could do away with the deputy mayor. So just to catch everybody up where we're at. This is not something we're trying to instigate, but we're trying to cover our bases in case whoever wins the mayor's race comes in and say, I'm not going to be chairman. Well, what are we going to do? Well, this is us working that out. So, is there any other discussion as far as the deputy to the mayor or that compensation goes? We voted on it and called the roll that it's passed. So we'll look at this again on the 22nd, which is our next meeting.
So what we will do on the 22nd is to bring the appropriation resolution. That, you know, that's all our, last time you'll look at it before we go.
So
To the
you
27th.
will have another shot besides the final day to look at the budget. Is there any other thing this evening on the budget that we'd like to review before we go into our next item? Hearing none, I'm going to explain again to the public. We are fixing to take a slight recess, at which time we will stop airing publicly. We will be recording. If someone wants to see the recording, and they can check with our IT department, but it will be available. This is not a closed meeting, but we have found that we can't negotiate when we actually put figures out on the air. Everybody sees them, and there's no negotiating from that point when you have the numbers that you're going to offer publicly aired. So at this point, we will temporarily close the meeting, and we will restart in just a minute or two.